Hi everyone, Aaron here for Zollotech, and this is the new Google Pixel Fold. We'll unbox it, set it up, compare it, and take a first look at it. Now this is very expensive at $1,799 in the United States for 256 gigabytes or $1,919 for the 512 gigabyte model. You can see here, this is the 512 gigabyte model and it's in Obsidian. It also comes in the color Porcelain. Now this particular device is supposed to be super nice. Let's get right into it and take a look at it. So we'll take off these little pull tabs here. Now I bought this myself. Google did not send this out. Of course, we'll also take a look at the Pixel Fold case as well. Let's go ahead and unbox this. So let's open it up. We'll set the case aside. There we go. And here's the Pixel Fold. So let's pull this out. We'll set it aside just for a moment and see what we've got in the box. It says foldable screen care. It says flexible screens are softer than traditional phones, so avoid contact with sand, crumbs, fingernails, or sharp objects. It says do not remove the pre-installed screen protector as it can cause damage, and don't apply a third-party screen protector. Now let's see what we've got in here. If anything, these just could be spacers, but it looks like it's just sort of a filler here. It doesn't appear that there's anything in here, so nothing at all. So we'll set that aside, and then inside here, we've got our little documentation. There we go. It's probably just a quick start guide. You can see here we have a SIM card removal tool, so we still have a physical SIM, and then we've just got a warranty card. We've also got a USB-C to USB-C cable. And then we've got another adapter so that we can quickly switch maybe from a different device to this, moving all of our data over and everything else. So let's set that aside, close this up, and open the Pixel Fold up itself and take a closer look. So let's take the cover off of this. Just comes off like this. Looks like it unfolds. Maybe they want you to open it up. It's kind of tricky to get this off of here. There we go. And it comes out like this. So we'll set that aside, and this is the Fold itself. Now, this is 10 ounces or 283 grams. It has the Tensor G2 inside and 12 gigabytes of RAM. It does not come with any other accessories, and that's where today's sponsor comes in, Soundcore. These are the Soundcore Liberty 4 NC. If you need a pair of quality noise-canceling headphones, these are the new Liberty 4 NC from Soundcore by Anker. They'll go along great with a Pixel Fold or any other device, and they reduce noise by up to 98.5%. It has multiple transparency modes as well, and Liberty 4 NC also support high-res audio as they have certification for that. They have an 11mm driver and LDAC quality with Bluetooth 5.3 LE support. Soundcore Liberty 4 NC gives you 10 hours of audio or 50 hours total with the charging case, and it also has Google Fast Pair, wireless charging, and IPX4 dust and water resistance. Be sure to check them out in the description below, and thanks to Soundcore for sponsoring this video. On the back, you can see it has sort of a matte finish with the G for Google in the middle, and then chrome on the outside as far as the accents go. The camera bump is sort of in a stainless steel or chrome look, and you can see the different cameras here. We'll talk about those in just a moment. On the right side, you can see our power sleep wake button. We also have a volume rocker here, and nothing else. On the top, we've got a speaker, what looks to be a millimeter wave antenna, and a microphone. On the hinge side, nothing but a polished hinge, which looks really great. And then on the bottom, we've got our SIM card tray. We have our microphone, speaker, USB-C, and then what looks to be two more microphones. If we remove the SIM card tray, we have room for one SIM card, no expandable storage, and we also have an internal eSIM. So you can use a physical SIM and an eSIM, but there's not dual SIM cards. As far as its overall size, before we turn it on, here is the Pixel 7 Pro. So let's take the case off of this so we can take a closer look, and this gives you an idea of the size. So it's a little bit shorter than the Pixel 7 Pro as far as its width. It's very similar. If we bring it up here, you'll see the similarities as far as its width, but its actual thickness is actually not as thick as I would have thought. Each side is a little bit thinner, but you can see here that it's a little bit thicker overall than the Pixel 7 Pro, but not by a whole lot, including that camera bump. So it looks pretty good overall there. Now, before we open it up and set it up, let's go over the rest of the specs. On the outside, we have a 5.8-inch display, 2092 by 1080 with 408 pixels per inch. It's a 120 Hz display, 1550 nits of peak brightness, and is covered by Gorilla Glass Victus. Internally, if we open this up here, you'll see we have a 7.6-inch display, 2208 by 1840 at 380 pixels per inch. It has 120 Hz capability, as well as a 1450 nit peak brightness. It has ultra-thin glass with a protective plastic layer. Now let's go ahead and boot it up. We'll close it back up here. The hinge is incredibly strong. We can sort of set it at any angle we want, which is really nice. So that's great. And if we close it, it has that nice satisfying close sound. So let's hear that. Let's go ahead and boot it up. So we'll hold the power sleep wake button. There we go. It says Google. Let's see if it's got it on the inside as well. So it's sort of booting up on both displays. And we'll give it just a moment here. Now it has a 4,821 milliamp hour battery, which Google says is good for beyond 24 hours of use. However, that's not 24 hours of screen on time. Some people are reporting only about 4 to 5 hours. So I'll have to test that out. It will charge with a 30-watt charger, but it has convenient wireless charging, but they don't say how fast it is. Let's go ahead and get it set up. So you'll see it says, welcome to your Pixel, get started. If we open it up, we can set it up here as well. So we can set it up on either screen. If we go back, you'll see it's just on one screen. So if we turn it on, it says just a sec. So I'm going to set it up using the Pixel 7 Pro. I'm going to use the same SIM card that's in here with Google Fi. So I've got my SIM card in place. Let's go ahead and place it in the bottom of the phone. There we go. And we'll give it a second to connect. And it says getting your device ready. One thing I almost forgot is let's take a look at the magnets on the back of it, if any. So you can see the different magnets with the magnet paper, speakers, microphones, maybe the magnet for closing the lid. Let's flip it over. You'll see the same sort of thing. So not a ton of different magnets that you can see easily. Let's open it up and take a look as well and see what we've got. So the same magnets here, not a ton of them like we had with the Pixel tablet and the dock. Now it's asking if I want to copy apps and data. It says you can choose to transfer your apps. We'll go ahead and hit next. It says use your old device. The fastest way is to use it wired, so we definitely can do that. So if I unlock this device here, we'll use the provided cable. We'll just plug it into the Pixel 7 Pro. There we go. It makes a noise and then it connects. So let's go ahead and hit next. It says connected to your Pixel, preparing. Copy data to your new device. We'll hit copy. Use our fingerprint here, and now it's copying my account. It'll move my Google account over to the Pixel Fold. And then it says getting ready to copy. Now it says continue setup on your Pixel, getting ready to copy on the Pixel Fold. So we'll give it just a moment to copy everything over until we can move on to the next step. Now it's asking me to choose what to copy. I just want to move everything over. We'll hit copy, and now it's copying the data. It will take just a moment to do that. Now that I've got the pin set up, it wants me to set up the fingerprint. So we'll go ahead and hit more. I agree, and this is the fingerprint button as well, the power sleep wake button. So we'll just move our thumb around on it. You can set up multiple fingers as well or do this later. We'll set it up like this. And these aren't usually terribly picky, but it takes a moment to get them set up. You have to cover the whole thing, and we're almost done. There we go. Fingerprint added. We could add another. We'll hit next. Now we can continue setup. And it says checking. It says talk to Google hands-free. That has to do with using Google with the word hey in front of it. We'll go ahead and hit I agree. Then you can use voice match. We'll hit more, and then I agree. And then access your assistant without unlocking your device. Again, more, and then agree. Or you could skip all of that altogether. So we'll give it just a moment here. Check out fast with your phone. You can use Google Pay if you have that set up. After you've set up Google Pay, if you want to use that, we can set up anything else. Identify music around you. I'll turn that on. You can get instant translations, control info on the lock screen, set up an always on display. Let's go ahead and turn that on. And then we also have prepare for emergency, change how text looks, and more. So we'll hit next. We'll just get tips and tricks in our inbox, and it says copying is done. So that was actually pretty fast. We'll hit done. It says getting your device ready. So it says continue setup on your Pixel. We'll hit close, and we're good to go. Now if we open this up, while we're in the middle of this, it's just got a different display on the inner screen. You can see the fold is fairly prominent here with the crease, and that's kind of annoying, but that's okay. I think you'll get used to it when you're looking at it straight on. And this feels incredibly thin when you're just holding it in your hands like this. It's unbelievable how thin it is, but you can see the hinges here as we fold them. It's right on the outside there, and it's telling us how to navigate. So try it. Swipe to go home. So swipe up. It says you can complete it to go home. Swipe back. I know all of these gestures, but if you've never seen it, swipe to switch apps. And nice, you can see how to do that. And we'll hit done. So we'll give it a second. It says all set. Swipe up to go home. So you can see this is actually splitting what I had on the main screen of the Pixel 7 Pro and then page 2. So let me show you what I mean by that. So on the Pixel 7 Pro here, you'll see here's page 1, although it's missing the wallpaper. If I go to page 2, you can see that it copied it to the second page. So we don't really have anything else there. It did bring my account over, and that's it. If we swipe up, we've got our app drawer. Of course, it brought the keyboard, but you can see what's pre-installed as far as apps go. So all the things I brought over, but nothing else as far as bloatware or anything else. Let's go into settings and see if we have an update. So we can bring up the taskbar here and switch. Maybe we want to bring in the Google Play Store. Let's bring it in here, see if that works. It wants me to do more with the taskbar, so let's get off of that. We'll go back. Bring this up, see if we can bring this in. There we go. Now we can use split screen, or in theory, we can use split screen, maybe not on all apps. There we go. Now you'll see that took a second. It actually brought everything in. It's really getting warm processing in the background. Now let's take a look at what version we have on here. So if we go to About, the current build is TD3A230203-070A1. If we go to System, we can check for a system update. It says there's one available. So it's downloading and installing that. So it says it's 221 megabytes, so it does have an update. If we close this, you'll see there it looks like any regular Pixel. Unlock with our fingerprint here, and it looks the same. So basically, we're not getting custom pages inside here. We're just getting two, or just sort of split pages here. If we want the task switcher here, maybe we'll go into the camera on one. See if it'll let that. There we go. So we've got the camera on one side. So while we wait for that, let's see what wallpaper we have as far as the background styles. You'll see we can change the wallpaper, and we have some community ones, cityscapes. We've got art and everything else. So you have feathers. There's the dark one. Let's just set it for both. And there you go. So you've got that spanning both screens. Tap to finish. There we go. Welcome to Pixel Fold. So we've got multiple home screens, but it looks a little messy if we look at it this way. If we close it, it's what you'd expect. So it looks the same as the regular Pixel that way. This form factor looks pretty good though. Now let's talk a little bit about the cameras, as we have quite a few of them on this device. The front camera is a 9.5 megapixel f2.2 camera that can record 4K 60 video. If we go to the back, we have three different cameras. We have a 48 megapixel f1.7 with optical image stabilization. We also have a 10.8 megapixel ultra-wide f2.2 and a 10.8 megapixel telephoto f3.05 with 5 times optical zoom. We have laser detect autofocus and 4K 60 video. Inside, we also have a camera as well. So if we open this up, unlock, we have a little camera here in the upper right. This camera is an 8 megapixel f2.0 fixed focus camera, more for video calls, and is 1080p 30 video is what it can do. No 4K video here with this. Now, if you'd like me to do a comparison with maybe the cameras on this versus maybe an iPhone or maybe Pixel 7 Pro, let me know in the comments below. But if we just flip this over here, we'll just take a look at maybe some of the options. So we'll go to our options here, and not a whole lot there. Let's go to Try rear camera. Switch screens now. There we go. You can see if we spin this around, now we have a view of the rear camera. So it's a nicer way to use the high resolution photo and video. And again, if we go to our options, we should have a bunch of different ones with more settings. And then we can see all of our different things such as grid type, camera resolution for photos. We've got full, video stabilization, and more. So it's pretty nice overall. What you would expect with a Pixel, simple and straightforward. You've got 16:9 or 4:3, and it has some great options here. If we go into video, you can see these modes here. We should have 4K 60, and we do. And we also have 10-bit for 30 frames per second, and then speech enhancement at 30 frames per second. So if we go to 30, we'll get those benefits. If we go to 60, we don't. So let me know if you want a full comparison or maybe review of the camera itself if you're interested in that. And let's see if we have to exit this maybe. Close this because we're in a camera mode. There we go. Go home. Then maybe we can open this up. There we go. So that took just a moment to sort of work properly. Now internally, this has Wi-Fi 6E capabilities for wireless, Bluetooth 5.2 with dual antennas for enhanced connection. It also has hearing aid compatibility listed for M3/T4 HAC rating. It's IPX8 water resistant and has 5 years of Pixel updates. So it seems like it's a pretty nice Pixel overall. Of course, it's going to take a moment to get that update installed. Let's take a look at the case. So we'll go over here to the Pixel Fold case. And this is $59.99. It does not come with it. And they did give a free Pixel watch with it. However, mine for some reason didn't add on its own. I had one previously, but I'll see if I can get them to send it to me. But I didn't want to cancel the order because, well, it may have caused a problem. So you can see here's the case that I have. It's sort of a hazel color. Let's open it up here. And I'm not sure I'll use this 100%. You've got some adhesive here, so if you want to stick this in here and use it, it will stick to the edges. It's sort of a soft silicone case, so I guess I need to remove those or it will look pretty bad. But you've got these little pull tab sticky covers here. It has a nice microfiber lining. And then again, here we have another bit of adhesive. This goes on the front like this. It offers a little bit of protection, but not anything crazy here. So I'm not sure I like the case that much. It's a hazel design. I like the actual look of the regular phone itself. So if we bring that down, open it up, it just does offer some protection for the outer screen, but not the inner screen. It doesn't even go up to the edge. So if you close this, you'll see here it doesn't go up to the edge. But it looks pretty good overall if you want a protective case that protects the outside screen. The update completed and everything's up and running. It's still processing in the background, but if we go to System and System Update, you'll see we have the June 5th update. So we're all up to date. Next month we should get another. Now, as far as this opening and not opening all the way, that's been a concern. You can see here that it sort of has an angle to it. You can push it a little bit. It doesn't feel like you're going to break it, but it doesn't seem to open 100% all the way on its own, but it won't lay flat just because the camera bumps. So that's something I just wanted to mention. The display looks great, and one thing I wanted you to hear is the speakers as well. So maybe we'll go to one of my videos. And it starts at $499, comes with 128 gigs of RAM, or $599 for 256. We have 3 different colors. This is actually the hazel color, the only one with the black bezel around it. There's also porcelain and rose. Now, this is the 128 version, and I actually picked it up. Google didn't send it to me, so let's go ahead and unbox it. On the back here, you can see it says Pixel Tablet with charge. So with that, volume does go pretty loud. At the highest volume, it gets a little bit distorted, but it sounds pretty good. It has spatial audio, and I expect it to be pretty decent overall. Of course, again, I'll have to use it for a little bit to see what it's like. As far as PWM, or pulse width modulation, as far as the way it controls brightness on both displays, since they're OLED based, this can bother your eyes, cause increased eye strain, cause some people to feel nauseated, and it's about 1 in 10, including myself. However, Pixel phones have never really caused that much of an issue for me. But I can see that definitely the outside display, at least in the camera, seems to have it. At 240 frames per second slow-mo, you can see that the outside display definitely has PWM, where it's using that to control brightness. On the inside display, you can see the exact same thing. It's using it to control brightness. It's very typical of most phones, iPhone, Pixel phones, Samsung devices all use this, but some have a faster rate at which it flashes the display as opposed to others. So hopefully these don't bother our eyes, but it will take a few days to know that. As far as the software, well, the screen is super fluid and fast, as you can see here. They both support 120 Hertz. And also, for those of you wondering about the internal benchmarks of this, let's go into Geekbench. We'll run that. I installed it. Let's run that and see what we get. You can see benchmarks completed, and we have 1,289 for single core, 2,853 for multi-core. You can see the different cores here and processors, and of course RAM. It says 11.2 gigabytes. They claim it's 12 gigabytes. So it seems to be working pretty well overall. And just going into things, whether that's Chrome, just scrolling is super smooth, and bringing in another app, of course, is super nice. So I wish there was a little bit more customization as far as the outside screen and the inside screen. Maybe that will come with a future update, but we need more optimization as far as apps go. But we have them for Google's own apps. If we go into the weather, you'll see it's optimized for Pixel Fold, and we definitely need to see this more from third-party developers. It looks great. Google's apps are pretty much optimized, but we're really missing those third-party apps. Now, if there's anything else you want to know about Pixel Fold, anything you haven't seen elsewhere, maybe you want a camera test or something else, let me know in the comments below. If you haven't subscribed already, though, please subscribe. And if you enjoyed the video, please give it a like. As always, thanks for watching. This is Aaron. I'll see you next time.